Good morning for my one. Guys, I have 60-ish kids in Algebra 1, and 2 of you are watching, and I'm actually willing to bet that at least one of those watching is Algebra 2 kid, so. But good morning if you're watching now, or good afternoon if you're watching it later, or happy middle of the night if that's your thing. This is my second week of live streaming my notes, and the reasoning behind live streaming my notes was so you could come and ask questions and feel like you're in class again. It's not picking up steam yet, but we'll just see what happens. I live stream Mondays, random information. Wednesdays, Algebra 2 notes, and then Fridays is Algebra 1 notes. So, this morning my live stream wasn't working. My document camera keeps not wanting to have something showing on it. It's working now. I fixed it, but it's going to be an interesting morning, but it's okay. So, just as a recap, because I gotta, after I, it's gotta clear it up. This week, which is last week, guys, week 5, we completed the square. I showed you with Legos. I had somebody who's not in your class actually tell me that helped them understand what they didn't understand in high school. So I felt really proud of myself. And then we showed you this way. Today we're going to use this. So I'm hoping you already understand how to complete the square. I'm really hoping. So let's get into actually using completing the square to solve quadratics, because that's our goal today. Also, just so you're aware, here's the calendar for this last few weeks. Let's see, we are here. We're in week 5. I'm teaching you week 6 right now, and we have 11. So we're right actually in the halfway point. So I'm proud of you for making it this far, or catching up to this far. And then I just want to just pre-warn you, we're going to wrap up chapter 9, and then our final, instead of a final, is just going to be a wrap-up quiz on this stuff. So hopefully you haven't just been going through and getting points for your homework, and actually I want you to understand it. Speaking of understanding it, these notes somebody said didn't make any sense. So I showed 3 different methods, and I posted it online, and it just says alternate ways of completing the square. So if this didn't make sense, go check out those 2. It's posted online. I didn't link it in the classroom, but it's posted online on my web, or on my on my YouTube channel. Alright, I almost tried switching the screen again, but I just need to show you what's up. Also, good morning. I don't know who's here, but it looks like you're having some issues. Because I have 3 people, and then I have 1 person. I have 0 people, and then they come back. So this is 9.4b. And we are solving quadratics by completing the square. Is that what I said on my table of contents? Probably not. Uh-oh, I'm running out of room. Square. Is that a rectangle? Yes, it is. Is it okay? Absolutely. Also, some of you are you're not even watching this. I don't know what I'm talking to. It is what I said. Girl, you're so good at this. Okay. So last week we completed the square. This week we're going to solve equations by completing the square. So, hopefully last week you understand the concept enough to follow along this week. If not, let me know. Let me know. So to solve, do I have steps for this? Complete the square. And I'm just looking at my notes that I have prepared for myself, so I do problems that actually make sense. Balance the equation. And we'll talk about what that means. Also, I have purple and pink, or no, pink and orange today. It's kind of feeling springy again. It's so sunny outside. I can't leave the door open when I talk to you, but it's going to come open as soon as I'm done with this. And then solve using square roots, which we hopefully still remember how to do from last week, or like a couple weeks ago. We'll see. So that's how we do this. Let's solve, where's my question? X squared minus 16x equals negative 15. Oop. I need whiteout. I need to zoom in. I don't need to zoom in that much. Y'all. That's a 15, not a 16. Somebody's going to get confused later and it's going to be my fault. Okay, let's complete the square. Let's think about this. I'm going to ignore the equals negative 15 part. I don't care about it. Is that bad to say? I just care about the x squared minus 16x for just a little bit. Okay, so if I have x squared minus 16x, that would be negative 8x. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and minus 8x. How many ones blocks are going to go in this square? Well, negative 8 times negative 8 is 64. So I need 64 blocks. So here's what I do. I'm going to add 64 to this to make it a perfect square. But I have to balance the equation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 64 to both sides. Because I can't just add 64 willy-nilly and hope it all works out for the best. I can't do that. It's not legal. It's not math legal. So what I get is I get x squared minus 16x plus 64 equals, I think that's 49. Negative 15 plus 64. It sounds like 49. Let's just keep it that way. So now this set right here is a perfect square. And I say perfect and then draw a rectangle. So it's not a perfect square when I draw it, but it's okay. This is the square x minus 8 squared equals 49. Great. Hopefully, in 9.3b, you remember how to do this type of problem. That shouldn't be crazy because we've already done this. But I am going to walk you through the steps one more time, just in case you forgot. Well, if x minus 8 squared equals 49, then x minus 8, if I square root, I know that 7 times 7 is 49, and negative 7 times negative 7 is 49. It's a square root. So then I'm going to add 8. I'm going to add 8 in both equations, which I didn't really write both equations. I ran out of room because over there. But I get x equals 8 and 7 is like 16. It's 15 because it's 1 less. And then negative 7 plus 8 is 1. And I get both equations. Okay. Hey, you know, to be honest with you, that's the only thing you need to know. Is you complete the left or the right side like last week, and then you solve it like 2 weeks ago. That's all. Isn't that pretty cool? I think so. But I'm going to show you one more where it doesn't become nice numbers just to show you, and then we'll be good. So if you want to, you're welcome to stop right here and go on to the homework. You know how to do all this. Oh no, I gave you weird numbers on the bottom. It's fine. It's too late. I already showed you. But what we're going to do is do one more with weird numbers. And I might actually modify this to be really weird numbers. So let's do x squared plus 9x equals 4. Because I've been staying away from odd numbers in the middle, but I might as well show you how to do it, because it's the same process still. Okay, so in my square, though, I'm going to have some weird things happen, is I have to have half of a 9's block. Or half of a 4.5 block. So I have my x squared, and I'm just worrying about x squared plus 9x. I don't care about the equals 4. So I'll have half of 9 is 4.5. So what I'm basically doing is I'll have 4.5 on one side. Do you see that? And then 4.5 on the other side. So in this section, and I wish I had Legos that made this like skinny thing, but that's not going to happen. If I do 4.5 times 4.5, oop, y'all, I did this without even thinking about it. I don't know, it's like 17.25 or something. 18.25? 4.5 times 4.5. 20.25. So close. Oh well. Great. So I need to add 20.25 to both sides, because I have to have balance, because my rising sign's Libra. I don't know. So I get x squared plus 9x plus 20.25 equals 24.25. And this looks like I'm making the problem harder. It really does. It does to me too. But this actually is going to factor nicely. It's a perfect square, because this square right here is a perfect x plus 4.5 square. And that equals 24.25. And what we're going to do is square root this. I don't know what the square root of 24.25 is, but I know it's going to be the positive and the negative. So here's one way we can do this. I'll say x plus 4.5 equals plus or minus the square root of 24.25. I don't really need to find it. It's okay. And then I'm going to subtract the 4.5. And one answer is x equals negative 4.5 plus and minus the square root of 24.25. Because your homework says to round to the nearest hundredth, if you're doing this on paper and sending me a picture of it, I am totally fine with this answer. You don't have to go any further. If you're doing it on Big Ideas Math to get full points, I think you actually have to do this math. So we're going to do negative 4.5 plus square root 24.25. And we're going to do negative 4.5 minus the square root of 24.25. Which, naturally, I totally know this number. I don't know this number. So I'm going to use my calculator. And I'm going to go, I have to do 4.5 and then press the negative button. I think iPhone's the same. I really wish this wasn't all. That made it worse. Plus, oop, I have to rotate it. Come on. Fine. Square root of 24.25. And that tells me this answer is 0.42. And then sometimes what I can do is I can do the history. Yes. Oop, I don't want that though. And I can just change this to be minus. And it said that that's negative 9.42. So those are my two answers to this. And I'm going to profusely apologize because I thought that my second example was just a not a good number, but not this not a good number, you know, like a middle of the line kind of not a good number. And you can't even see it on my thing. Ugh. Oh, there we go. I don't want a +9. I don't want you to see that either. Get out of here. Get your nose out of my business. I'm just kidding. So that is how we complete the square to solve quadratics. Let me really quick recap the calendar. Ask me any questions in the chat. If you have any questions, I'm here for you. I don't even know who you are, but good morning. So we just completed the square. Next week I'm going to teach you the quadratic formula. We're going to listen to a good song. And then we're going to solve it by factoring. Solve using factoring, which is my favorite method, which is why I'm actually doing a whole day on it, because I'm pretty good at it. And then we're going to solve systems involving quadratics using all the methods. We'll have a review. We're going to have a quiz. That's the end of the year. Isn't that scary? I think so. Okay. And then we're going to real quick put your homework back up. The first 4 problems, 17 through 20, are going to be the first. Can I say this with confidence? I'm pretty sure the first 2 are very nice numbers. The second 2 are okay numbers, and then the last 2 are really weird numbers like we just did. So ask me if you have any questions. And I got you. Hey, that was pretty good. That was only a 17-minute lesson rather than my Algebra 2 half-an-hour lesson that I did last week. Or this week. Sorry, you guys. I don't know if you have any questions for me. I'm going to stick around in the chat for a little bit. But I don't even know who's watching me. That's kind of creepy. Like, it's not that you're being creepy, I'm sorry. But it's a weird world that I can be teaching somebody that I don't know who's there. Also, I'm going to do this every Friday. It actually keeps me on track in terms of my teaching as well. And then there's somebody that's been translating these videos. I don't know if you've seen them. Or they translate them to Spanish, which is pretty cool. Although I guess if you're watching this at the end, you probably already see that. Any questions? Anything? I'm ready. Okay. Have a beautiful Friday, or a beautiful Monday, or whatever freaking day of the week it is that you're watching this. Time is meaningless. It's a human construct. Nobody knows what day of the week it is. It's fine. I guess that I will see you, I don't know, next week. Bye!